Hi, everybody. This is Jennifer Schaus, and we're coming to you live today from Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us in our webinar series covering big tech in federal government contracting. Okay, just to let you know, all of our webinars are complimentary and recorded, and you can find them along with 700 plus other government contracting webinars on our YouTube channel. Does not cost you anything to subscribe, and in the event that you're watching this video on YouTube, give us a like, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel. Again, it doesn't cost you anything, and you'll get immediate updates when we do upload new videos. Okay. And a little bit about us. We are based in downtown DC with a focus on advising established federal government contractors. Our clients are companies who sell products, services, or software to the federal government and range from large businesses to mid-sized firms with millions in federal contracts. Separate from our consulting services, we have amassed a subscriber base of almost over 35,000 in our weekly newsletter, the Federal Contractor Weekly. We offer advertising opportunities in the newsletter, including sponsored content newsletters and webinars. If you're interested in reaching federal contractors, please email us and ask us for our media kit, and we'll send that over to you. The email address is at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Okay, and a little bit about the just a quick save the date here for Monday, December 9th. We realize it's a couple months out, but this will be our signature networking event that's held over at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. We expect anywhere from 300 to 400 attendees, as well as federal government participation. We do have sponsorship opportunities available. Again, shoot us an email to the hello@jenniferschaus.com to get advanced pricing on sponsorship and attendee. Okay, a little bit about the series. As you may know, we're covering big tech companies every Wednesday, and we're looking at the intersection of where they fall in their, we'll say, extra activities with regards to lobbying, how that impacts their stock price, and through the help of our friends at GovSpend and Fed Consult, we'll look at their civilian, defense, and other agency contracts. We'll dig into that those details a little bit later in today's presentation, but everything is complimentary and recorded. You can find all the videos again on our YouTube channel simply by subscribing to it, and the PowerPoints are always posted over on slideshare.net. You can log into SlideShare with your LinkedIn credentials. That does not cost you anything either. Here's where we are in the series. Today we're covering Microsoft. You can find the recordings for Google, Facebook, and Twitter over on, or I should say X, over on our website under the Big Tech section, and then the schedule is listed here. The only week that we're going to skip is Thanksgiving, and this will take us through mid-December. So thanks for joining us again. As I mentioned, our data providers, our data market intelligence is coming from Fed Consult. You'll hear from Archiza Meehan in a moment. And GovSpend. GovSpend is the premier platform for finding state, local, education, and federal opportunities. Now we also want to thank our in-kind sponsors and partners. This includes, actually, let me go back to GovSpend. I've got a little bit more to say about them. GovSpend provides government procurement data and analytics to organizations buying and selling in the public sector. With transparency and accountability at the center of what they do, they strive to place data-driven insights into the hands of federal, state, local, and education customers so that they can win more government contracts. The federal solution, the FedMine platform, harnesses data from 19 federal sources and empowers federal agencies to seamlessly explore the market, gain valuable insights through comprehensive spending analysis, and access detailed vendor profiles in real time. Okay, sorry about that. Our in-kind sponsors and partners include GovEvents, Fairfax County, and Set Aside Alert. GovEvents is the premier platform for posting events related to government and government contracting. You can find all of our webinars and our events on govevents.com, as well as recordings from our past 700 plus webinars. We also want to thank Tom Johnson and his team at Set Aside Alert, the go-to publication for contracting opportunities for small women-owned, veteran-owned, hub zone, and 8A firms. Visit setasidealert.com for more information. Also, Fairfax County Economic Development Group is a great resource for businesses in Northern Virginia. Please visit their calendar to learn more about events, trainings, including this webinar series. Okay, and we also want to thank the Virginia Apex Accelerator. That is, Apex Accelerators are located throughout the country. They offer one-on-one training as well as counseling and online courses. To learn more about how your local Apex Accelerator can help you, we encourage you to click on the link that you see there on your screen, or you can contact apex at gmu.edu. They are co-located at the George Mason University. Our corporate sponsors, we want to thank C3 Integrated Solutions, FedBiz Access, Federal Publication Seminars, GovPro AI, WorkPlan, and R. Turner Consulting. Okay, a little bit about FedBiz Access. FedBiz Access Advantage empowers small businesses with the tools, resources, and expertise needed to succeed in the federal marketplace. With over 23 years of experience, the team has helped clients secure over $34.7 billion in awards. They guide businesses through the complexities of government contracting with innovative marketing solutions, personalized support, and a steadfast commitment to your success. By fostering strong relationships and delivering exceptional results, they've become a trusted partner for businesses seeking to expand their federal contracting opportunities. Experience the FedBiz Access difference and unlock your potential today. Call them directly at 844-631-7121. C3 Integrated Solutions. If you're thinking about getting in on a big tech contract with the Department of Defense, you need to prepare for CMMC. Compliance should be a requirement. Could be a requirement as soon as the spring of 2025. So it's important to start now. No matter where you are in the process, whether you're still in planning mode or you've started and stopped, C3 can help. C3 provides a prescribed path to compliance that relieves 80% of all of your CMMC Level 2 assessment objectives, including 100% of all IT-related objectives, and supports you through the remaining 20%. Ensure your competitive advantage, lock in valuable DoD contracts, and get started with CMMC today. Contact C3 for more information by visiting their website. FedPub Seminars. For over 65 years, Federal Publication Seminars, FPS, has been the premier provider of government contracts training. Widely regarded as the industry's gold standard, expert-led courses offer comprehensive education for all levels, from beginners to advanced professionals, covering essential, up-to-date topics crucial to government contracting. Learn more about FPS and their training solution at fedpubseminars.com. R. Turner Consulting is a GovCon growth consultancy delivering the full spectrum of business development, capture, and proposal services from a team of experienced consultants led by Robert Turner. The firm's offerings include fixed-price IDIQ proposals, curated market intelligence, delivering scalable pipeline support, fpdsplus.com, a free GovCon procurement data analytics application, and as of last month, RFQ Plus AI. It's an AI-driven subscription delivering qualified IDIQ task orders to your inbox with your own personal AI assistant that works for you on your document collection and keeps your data private. R. Turner Consulting helps you bid smarter and win more. GovPro AI. GovPro AI is revolutionizing government contracting. They transform your past proposals into a powerful AI engine, delivering customized pink team drafts in just 48 hours. By cutting drafting time by 70% and reducing costs by half, GovPro AI allows you to focus on what truly matters, strategy, and win themes. Their human-in-the-loop approach ensures compliance and quality while seamlessly integrating with your existing processes. Built by GovCon experts for GovCons, they truly understand your challenges. Want to boost your win rates and expand your federal business? Visit GovPro AI today to schedule a demo and see how they can supercharge your proposal process. The future of government contracting is here. Don't get left behind. WorkPlan. WorkPlan is a modern cloud-based ERP system hosted by Amazon Web Services that allows federal contractors to efficiently run and grow their business. It was built by federal contractors for federal contractors. WorkPlan allows contractors to remain FAR and DCAA compliant. Additionally, it allows remote access through desktop, cell phone, iPad, or laptop. Gain actionable insights from reports that cover multi-year contracts, multiple periods, the entire enterprise, or drill down for more detail. Report on direct and indirect project cost and project profitability in real time. Learn more and request a demo at workplan.com. And Archisa, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Jennifer, for inviting me for the series. For those who don't know me, my name is Archisha Meehan, and I am founder of Fed Consult, a strategic consulting company that's focused on the federal space. And we really help companies and organizations with competitive analysis, marketing strategy, and more. I previously was head of federal at GovSpend at FedMind. So as you know, that's where we will be using the data from. But again, thanks, Jennifer, so much for having me on the series for Big Tech and Federal Government.
Great. It's great to have you here with us today, Archisa. And as everybody knows, we are covering Microsoft today. So I'm just going to run through a few basic slides about the company to give you an overview, and then we'll go back to Archisa for the data on government contracts. So we just pulled some screenshots from what was relative for the public sector, as close as we could get to their federal contracting data. They do have a specific site on their website for government. If you are interested in working with Microsoft as a subcontractor, or you have opportunities to team with them, we encourage you to learn as much as you can before you even begin the conversation or before you even send them a LinkedIn request. And they've got plenty of information here on their website, as you can see. They're a leader in the Internet of Things for smart cities. That's more on probably the state and local side. But they do have their public center of expertise. And this here gives you more information on that. Again, encourage you to click through all the drop downs, find out as much as you can so that you do have an intelligent conversation with them when you get to that human-to-human interaction. They're doing obviously a lot with AI, cybersecurity, and defense and intelligence. On the AI initiatives, they've got a white paper on their website. I've got the link, I believe, on the next slide. Again, highly encourage you to read through those pieces of information. You've got a contact name here, Greg Wilson, who's fairly senior at the organization. He's got listed here on their website. I'm not sure if you're going to find him directly on LinkedIn, but your point of entry is probably going to be a SBLO, the Small Business Liaison Officer. I looked yesterday for SBLOs at Microsoft and did not come up with too much there, so it will require some digging or perhaps attending some trade shows and some networking events to get to some humans. But again, do your homework first. LinkedIn, you definitely want to follow Microsoft on LinkedIn. That's a pretty easy find. Microsoft and government, so don't forget about the various components of Microsoft when you are trying to immerse yourself in everything that they do to find out if there is a fit or something complementary that your business brings to the table. We look over at their stock price. They're traded on the NASDAQ. Their top 5 institutional holders will mirror some of the companies that we looked at over the last 3 weeks, in particular BlackRock and State Street, as well as FMR. I think Vanguard was in 1 or 2 of the last ones as well. Stock price here was taken a couple days ago. I think it's now at 431. Again, the stock information is simply just to give you a high-level overview of the company so you know where they are, where they've been, where they're going. We're not encouraging you to buy or sell or do anything with their stock to make it part of your portfolio or not. It's just to be cognizant of the fact that they are, in fact, publicly traded. And how, if and how any of their federal contracts affect the stock, particularly for the companies whose portfolio is comprised primarily of federal contracts. You can see where they were and then where they are now, and maybe you're kicking yourself for not buying the stock back in 1986. Okay. Some lobbying information that we pulled from public website called Open Secrets. We pulled the most current year, which is 2023, and they've got about 10.5 that they have spent in lobbying. You'll see some interesting statistics here that not a lot of fluctuation here. The biggest fluctuation is in the number of lobbyists that they've used. Back in the turn of the century is when they had the most feet on the ground, or that they were paying for feet on the ground. Dipped a little bit in 2011, but in 2013 they had a significant amount of expenditures in lobbying. I'm not sure exactly. We haven't really dug into what happened in 2013. there was a big contract on the street then or something along those lines. But again, just be cognizant of the fact that they do spend money on lobbying. The 2024 numbers are not yet published, but nothing really that is overly surprising or shocking here for a big tech company. When we look at SAM.gov, this is the UEI number that we pulled, and at this point I'm going to put myself on mute and turn the floor over to Archisa.
Perfect. So that was the SAM UEI that we looked at, that Jennifer had on the previous slide. So let's look into the way I presented the data is we're sort of looking at the civilian agencies, defense, and just independent agencies. So when I look at the civilian agencies, you could see over the last 5 years, their civilian agency awards have been anywhere from $55 to $75 million. This data was for last Wednesday, so it's maybe a week old, but just letting everyone know that. But you could see that the Department of State has been a pretty large client of theirs. Justice is increasing. Homeland Security, again, is another client where I'm presuming they did some major projects way back in FY 21-20, and now with all of this might be maintenance and things like that. Department of Agriculture is a relatively new client, and when I looked into the details, it was for Azure Stratus contract. So presuming that the agency is moving towards Microsoft Azure, so that's something that again you want to keep in mind. But it's also interesting that sometimes when you're looking at the agencies and where Microsoft is directly as a prime, it's sometimes eye-opening to see certain agencies that you would expect them to be, but they're not. So anyway, just to give you an idea, again, this data is one to help you understand where is Microsoft winning contracts. Second, how do you work with Microsoft using the intelligence that's out there when you're having a conversation with them or agencies, just to give you that depth of information. Next slide.
Yeah, but I was just going to jump in here. What stuck out to me was when I look at the sector totals, if you go right to left at the bottom, bold numbers that Archisa has put here, 2022 kind of stands out to me as a big jump. They lost 20 million in revenue, and it looks like most of that's coming from DHS. What also stuck out to me in these with this information is 2020 and 2021 were perhaps some COVID contracting dollars. Maybe they were setting up some information like that, and then it kind of dropped off. So I'd be curious to see. I feel like COVID contracting gives us a, and I just kind of use that term very loosely just to describe the period from, let's say, fiscal year, end of fiscal 19 through kind of 2021 or so. But I'd be curious to see what 2019 and 2018 look like, if the numbers in 2020 and 2021 are really true, or were they jumps because of COVID? And those were just my observations.
And you could be right. I mean, we would, I should have done that. I should have put some COVID spend too in there. That would have given us an idea. But it seems that when I'm looking in 2019, HHS was moving to Azure Cloud. So I think that was the migration. So there might have been major IT projects that are now,
Right.
Anyway,
yep, and 2023 looks like they're back in the 74, 75 type range, and we'll see what happens in 2024 since those numbers are still pending.
Exactly.
Great.
A couple of weeks to go.
That's right, indeed. Okay.
Independent agencies, for me, it was interesting to see this money, Social Security definitely seems to be doing some major Azure Microsoft type of products, because you could see that spend go up from FY 21 to 22 to 23 to 24. And then Smithsonian Institution has put in some money from, about 100,000 over the past 4 years to 1.7 million. And that again was for Microsoft Enterprise's licenses. So gives you a good idea of which agencies might be moving over to the Microsoft type of environment. And I think that's information that a lot of smaller businesses could also use to work with those agencies, especially if they have specific skills in Microsoft products, right? So,
Right.
yeah. And then the defense agencies. Defense agencies was really interesting for me and very eye-opening, because you could see the jump from FY22 with $531 million to $1.2 billion in FY23, with the bulk of the contracts or awards coming from Army and DoD. And of course, we won't know the true extent of FY24 till maybe December of this year, because there's always a 90-day delay for any DoD data. So I am really, really curious. I won't be surprised if it's going to be again closer to that 1 billion mark, just based on the trends that we are seeing right now. If we go to the next slide, you could see that the total awards to Microsoft year over year are pretty high, and that FY23 is definitely the DoD component that's adding to that large jump. And if we go to the next slide, I wanted to focus in on actually the awards that Microsoft is getting through other transaction agreements or other transaction IDVs, or like what we generically call OTAs. And that jump that we saw in DoD, the majority of it is due to OTAs. You could see that they won $848 million in Army in 23, $9 million in OTAs from DoD, and then Air Force contributed also for some OTAs. You can also now see that Air Force OTA dollar value has gone up substantially in FY24. So it's important for us to delve and dig deep into what the contracts are also at Microsoft. And if I go to the next slide, you'll actually see I've sort of tried to tell you a little bit about the various OTAs. The Army OTA is for Integrated Visual Augmentation System Production and Sustainment. They also have some OTAs for utility scale quantum computing programs. There's a hybrid space architecture prototype. There's engineering support for the integrated visual augmentation system production. And then they have something that they're calling the integrated immersive intelligent environment. So a whole bunch of super interesting OTA programs that Microsoft is working on. And Jennifer's actually did a very informative series on OTAs, I want to say a few months ago. And she has very kindly put a link to that webinar if you have any, and I would really encourage anyone who's listening to pay attention to OTAs and listen to the webinar series, because I think we are seeing an increasing trend of OTAs being used across agencies for contracts. And Jennifer, I don't know if you want to add anything to it, but.
Yep, and thanks for the information. That link there is going to take you to about 20, I think we have 20 or so complimentary webinars on OTAs. We saw a big spike in OTAs during COVID contracting. These are non-FAR, Federal Acquisition Regulation contracts. It's typically reserved for Department of Defense, Department of Energy, Department of Transportation, NASA. I think that's it, but you'll have to double check those webinars to ensure that the list that I just gave you there is correct. Again, these are contracts that do not fall under the FAR, so they give you a little bit more flexibility, and they're a little bit more fast moving than your typical FAR contract. So again, we direct you over to the links there, or the link that will take you to multiple webinars to get educated on that topic. And if Microsoft is kind of playing in that field, you probably want to know what you're talking about, again, before you decide to contact them and start the conversation.
Exactly. I think that is really, really important. So let's go to the next slide where we talk, go through all the relevant contract information. And the next slide is going to take us into the industry codes. piggybacking off this whole OTA, one of the things that you need to remember is that there are no NAICS codes that are used when contracts are awarded under OTAs. So I want you to keep that in mind. So when I'm just looking at the NAICS codes for Microsoft, again, all computer related NAICS codes with the 541, 512, 541, 511, the 519 NAICS codes are predominantly the NAICS codes that are being used for awards. When we go to the next slide, we actually start looking at the PSC codes, and you could see that the bulk of the OTA type of contracts are under the 5999 PSC codes, as also, I would say, the R45, 425 PSC codes. So again, just a good way for you to understand, what are the various industry codes that are being used. And I find more and more PSC codes are actually a really good indicator of how the contracts are being awarded. So let's go to the next slide. I, of course, have to touch on the subcontracts that are won by Microsoft. We had about $30 million of contracts that Microsoft is a subcontractor on. And this data, again, is available from USA Spending. It is self-reported. So I do want to always make sure we understand when we're talking subcontracts, where's that data coming from, and the fact that it is self-reported. Leidos, GDIT, CACI, ASM Research are the top primes that are working with Microsoft and in terms of the subcontracts. And when I'm looking or trying to find out, hey, what type of subcontracts is it? It's really a statement in support of SOW. So we're really not seeing much details, but it could be anything from, supplying services to products and licenses. So again, I do want to lay that out there. Next slide.
Yeah, and I was just going to jump in here as we just kind of think back to the previous companies that we looked at, Google, Facebook, Meta, Twitter, X. Most of their work fell to Accenture, if I'm not mistaken. And it's interesting that Accenture does not show up on these slides. So just an observation.
I know, it's always interesting to see what's out there, what's not, how everyone's different. And next week's going to be Intel, so that's also going to be interesting to look at.
Right.
And then again, as you can see, the agencies that the subcontract work is being done is pretty different from the ones that we saw previously. And this is Navy and HHS. So though we saw that HHS was not really a big prime customer for Microsoft, they do some subcontracting work here. Same thing with GSA. So again, those are things that you want to keep in mind, right, as we're looking at all the data. And then no surprises with the NAICS codes that are being used, the 541, 512, 541, 511. So just wanted to mention that. And then the next slide. What I ended up doing is, so we looked at the subcontracts that Microsoft has as a prime, but Microsoft also has a lot of products. And I just took a bunch of them where I'm saying, let's just look at Microsoft, SharePoint, Azure, Office 365, and Outlook. And let's see if we can understand the market for these products within Microsoft, within the federal agencies. And I'm not surprised, I have more than $3.5 billion that were awarded under these specific keywords. And if you look at who the top primes are, you'll start seeing companies like Dell Marketing, Minburn, Regan Technologies, Carasoft, and it sort of gives you an idea now about, what are these companies providing. I want to say Dell Marketing provides Microsoft services. And if I'm mistaken, not, the Department of VA is one of the large clients. So always important for us to understand who, the other way of looking at the data too. And then what I found interesting is that the bulk of these contracts were other than small business, which definitely makes sense if you look at Dell. accounting for more than 2.4 billion, but then you have about 20% of those contracts being awarded as small business. So just putting that out there. If we could go to the next slide. Again, this is where you'll see different types of NAICS codes with software publishers and other computer-related services being the primary NAICS codes. And then again, in terms of the agencies, you do have DoD, but also the Department of Veterans Affairs and Air Force and other agencies. So keep that in mind as you're digging into the data. Not just looking at Microsoft as a prime, but also other companies that might be providing these Microsoft-related solutions. Next slide. I also went in and just took these NAICS codes and I said, let's look at the various agencies that are procuring or where the work is being done, either directly or through other providers. And now you do get a better idea of other agencies that we might not necessarily seen as a prime, but like the Department of Veterans Affairs, and you can see Homeland Security is definitely going up. So again, these are things that you want to delve in deeper based on your industry and say, hey, okay, where are the Homeland Security contracts coming? What is it for? Because are we seeing more services or support type of work that's happening now? So just keep that in mind as you're looking at data. And of course, looking at keywords and things like that will really help fine-tune the searches based on the type of service that you provide, things like that. And then I wanted to go into the next slide, which is definitely looking at the various IT initiatives. This is coming, this data is coming from GovSpend, but you can always go to the IT dashboard and actually see the various awards, various IT initiatives that are out there. You could see in this case, the Department of State definitely, and I just did a keyword search for Microsoft. So you could see that the Consular Enterprise Infrastructure and Operations for FY25 is at about 498 billion. And it does include other companies like Oracle, but this is where there is a component of Microsoft services. You could also see in Army, they have put aside almost $490 million for licenses. So again, when we're looking at these IT companies, I would really, really encourage all of you to pay attention to the IT initiatives that are out there. And yeah, that's it, I think, from my side.
Great, thanks, Archie. I appreciate the good insight and the great data there. Now we're just going to look at some federal sector news. This is just hopping over to Google, typing in Microsoft Public Sector and seeing what pops up under the news header. As you can see, they had some issues with Chinese hacking, and then just some information on their AI, and then their new commerce, this NCE. New Commerce Enterprise is part of a platform that Microsoft is offering. Just some other headlines here, more on AI, which we're going to continue to see more of. And again, we would highly encourage you to sign up if you're going to be talking to Microsoft in the hopes of working with them. Definitely sign up for the Google News alerts and read the articles, know who's who. Look at their mergers, acquisitions, who else they're playing with in the sandbox, as Archie's kind of laid out very nicely, and just know what's happening in the company. It's also important, and the reason I did the screenshot is just so that when you are following them on LinkedIn, where you should be spending a good chunk of time when conducting research, the LinkedIn government or the LinkedIn business pages will also have feeds there. Theirs wasn't overly current for Microsoft and government specifically, but again, you could probably find some good information there. And again, it's just wise to be well read and well versed before having a conversation with anybody in any business situation. So stay abreast of what they're doing in the federal sector. It's that simple. So again, thanks everybody for attending. We want to thank our friends over at GovSpend for providing the data, and our Chisa Meehan over at Fed Consult for pulling all the data, analyzing it, presenting it, and sharing her time and expertise with us. Again, a friendly reminder, you can find all of our webinars, including today's webinar, on our YouTube channel. If you're watching it live on YouTube, give us a like, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, share it with a friend. And just another save the date reminder, Monday, December 9th, over at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. will be our networking event with 300 to 400 government contractors, including federal government and sponsors. If you want to sponsor, shoot us an email. We'll give you the details. And again, thanks everybody for attending. We hope to see you next Wednesday.
Thank you.